Hey guys, welcome to the gun shop with me, John, and today we've got a brand new shotgun for you, the Breda Zenith. So it comes in this lovely black box, and this is a prototype. It's a pre-production model, so a few things may change on the final model, which we'll talk through. Lift the barrels out, and the stock and action out. And you have lovely velour lining, Zenith, Breda chokes, with which it comes 5 and a choke key, all extended. Apart from that, there's nothing that exciting in the case, just a standard Negroni that says Zenith on it. All right, let's put this gun together, see what you get. So this is a ground up design for Breda, something just a little bit different, to be honest, and I really do like it. Something that's come to the market and not just copied other people's ideas, or at least not just copied a complete other idea. Starting at the back, you have this nice soft heel plate. 3 options are available: short, medium and long, so you can change your length of pull. All guns will be grade 4 wood, and with the short pad 14 3/4 inches in length. Actually, with a standard pad 14 3/4, I think. All wood will come in grade 4, and as you can see, it's a really nice bit of timber. Quite unusual, but also really nice. A good, interesting grain. Guns will be 14 3/4 in length minimum, and come with a nice right-handed palm swell. Not just a small swell, just a very, very full swell, actually, extremely full palm swell pistol grip, and it is a full pistol grip, as you can see. It goes down to the full past the 90° there. Fills your hand perfectly, almost quite a trappy feel. Very good for a modern sporting gun, very in fashion at the moment, certainly. The safety catch, really nicely machined, and everything on here is superbly well built. Push the safety off, it's nice, it's positive, and you have the selector there, which is positive yet smooth. Again, just a really good feeling gun. You have very large checkering panels, quite tight but not too sharp, and all laser cut. All conjoined down the middle there. Again, very well put together stock and fairly decent measurements. Comes at 1 1/4 and 2 1/4, so it is quite an aggressive gun in the shoulder. The trigger is fully adjustable, and unlike other systems, this one's actually done on a ball bearing system to position it, so you undo your little Allen key there, and this goes click, click, click back through all of these little dots. You might be able to see just behind the trigger there. A little ball bearing will drop into those, so you can have a memory on the trigger if you like. It's not relying on the tightness of that grub screw to hold it in place, or not entirely reliant on that. Now we get on to something that's quite interesting actually, and that is the action design itself. The action design itself we'll go into, I'll take it apart and I'll show you, is extremely, extremely shallow. They've lost 4mm, Breda and Marochi being the same company, offer the Marochi Evo, lost 4mm of action depth, and the whole thing is extremely shallow. The way the barrels are engineered onto the gun, the actual metal to metal fit is very nice. The wood to metal fit is not bad, certainly around certain areas. Could do with shaving down on others, but again, being a pre-production model, I'd like to think they'll sort that out. But what we're really here to focus on is the engraving. As you can see, the engraving is unlike any other gun out there on the market today. Very nice, leads very well, and almost hides the shape of the gun, makes it look very, very elegant. I mean, it is an elegant gun anyway, but it's unusual. You know, they're not tried to produce some fine scroll work or tried to be ultra modern as such. They've just gone in a completely different direction, and I really, really like it. The gold Breda on the side and Zenith engraved on the bottom. This gun will be available in a silver action as well, and the silver action I saw at Iwa is really, really nice. The light bounces off the silver action beautifully, and this black action is just subtly beautiful. And again, the edges throughout this engraving catch the light. It's just unlike anything I've ever seen, like you say, it's just beautiful. You have, running across the top lever here, the top lever is an unexciting but very nicely machined piece of metal, a flat, and that flat leads all the way up onto our rib. It is a parallel rib, and that's 8mm. Currently, it's just flat filed, however, they're going to do it cross filed on the final model because they think this one's too shiny, and I am tempted to agree with them. The barrel's a monoblock, 18.4 bores. Let's pull the fore end off. Actually, before I pull the fore end off, standard American rounded fore end, quite deep at the back, leading to a very shallow front, and there's a very nice geometric lever here Very nice. A bit strange, but not strange bad, just different. The forend, warning, do not pull it straight down. It's a lot like some other Italian makers. You just need to pop it down a slight bit and then slide it forward. As you have very, very long ejector heads there. Something that you'll notice about this gun, certainly, actually, before I take it apart completely and talk about the barrel, some other bits, is how nicely it opens and closes. There is no effort on that top lever whatsoever. There's no pressure. That lock-up is just perfect. So you're not having to, there's no bite like you might get on a Browning, and there's no drag like you might get on a Beretta, being the two actions that people are most familiar with, not slagging either of them off because they're both brilliant. But there is something about this top lever that actually the engineering quality is just superb. The way it closes up, the way everything's put together, top notch actually. Well done Breda for that one. Anyway, let's pop it apart and have a little look at how it works inside. Starting at the front, you have these maxi chokes, interchangeable beads, although it only comes with one. A set of 5 chokes. They're quite shiny, but they're 90mm chokes. So you get fairly consistent patterns out of them, or at least this is what they say. The bores, this excites me as a tight bore fanatic, are 18.4 bores, so they're perfectly acceptable with 5 boards. They haven't gone for an overboard barrel, which is really strange in today's market. However, I like that. It's a brave move, it's a bold move, and I think genuinely actually a good one. Tight bores, long chokes, 100mm forcing cones, and 2 3/4 inch chambers. Essentially what they're stating here is this is a sporting clay gun, which is absolutely fine because it is a sporting clay gun. There's nothing wrong with just being a sporting clay gun. That said, on 2 3/4 chambers, you can now go and shoot an array of stuff out there. So don't feel like just because it's 2 3/4 chamber, you're stuck. If you need 3-inch chambers, go buy a 300 quid Hatsan, and that will do all your wildfowling and steel needs. The ejectors are removed through just a small pin that goes in there. They do not provide a tool, but just a small, like an iPhone Torx driver or something, or a small Allen key. Push it down, put your thing in, and they will just pop out. So very easy to remove. The first thing I want to talk about technologically on the gun, in terms of replaceable parts, it's fairly common now for most guns to have replacement wearing parts. However, some ideas are better than others. We'll start with this one. This one has anything that wears on this gun is interchangeable. We're going to start, actually not here, we're going to start on the forend. The little silver bit in there, that is what regulates the tightness between the barrels and the forend, how tight your gun feels. That does wear. You can replace that when it's worn. This little piece of metal here, this is your draw piece. This little silver part, completely replaceable, just an Allen key in the back, undo it, and that replaces, so you can tighten up how tight it is on the face. Finally, actually not finally, your trunnions here, your hinge pins, they are interchangeable. And finally, if you press this little nipple in there, these two come out. Your U-bolt, also interchangeable. Essentially, what they're giving you here is the tools to provide rebuilds on this gun very reasonably priced. Breda have been doing it for years, and more people that follow suit down the line of a gun that you can rebuild without having to spend a fortune, the better. Let's pop it together and see how it handles. Something about the way this gun goes together is actually really satisfying. We get to play with a lot of guns, and a lot of them are not special in any way. And there's nothing wrong with certain guns being not special, but this one actually, just the way it's engineered, it's nice to have a gun that someone's paid some real attention to. This gun, by the way, is going to retail at about £2,500. There's also the potential that there's going to be custom stock options, so you might be able to actually get your custom measurements made for not a great deal amount more. Potentially, although that's still in the pipeline, whether they actually want to provide that service or not. Every single thing is actually built by Breda Marocci, apart from the blacking, which is done outsourced. And apart from that, I've not a lot more to say about the mechanics of it. If we have a little look at the balance, it is actually currently quite front heavy. That is in part due to the spec currently. The production models, where they're going to have a slightly longer piece of wood than this, are not going to be quite so hollowed out as much, will be that little bit more rearward heavy. However, they are still going to lend themselves probably a 1/4 inch in front of the hinge pin, apparently. However, wood will obviously dictate that. All the wood, by the way, comes oil finished. How's it feel in the hand? Really nice, if you like a full pistol grip. It's a really nice full pistol grip. You've got a nice cutaway there that takes your thumb, and the forend being, it's my preference, a forend, a semi-shallow American. Could probably be doing with it being a few mil deeper, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It feels like a good sort of rounded gun. You know, that's me just being slightly personal preference-y, and I think there's a lot of it because my right hand is so full, it feels like my left hand should have a little bit more in it too. Maybe it's a mind game. I'd love to actually get behind one of the production models and give it a go, which obviously we will be doing. This pre-production gun is a little shorter than standard, so it does come up a little short, but that little extra height in the comb over some other models, it makes for a nice aggressive gun. And for a front heavy gun, it's not horrific to move it around. I think just on engineering and aesthetics, I'm really sold on this gun. I really, really like it a lot. It's beautiful in its own way. It's the way to look at it. It's beautiful in its own way. For somebody who wants a modern looking gun, I don't think you can look past this without at least giving it a serious contemplation. I think the real thing here is to wait for the production models, to actually see what they come out like, because they've taken this gun, which is really very nice. They've added a little bit of extra wood on the end. They've changed the file of the rib, which essentially is going to bring our weight back, but still give us this nice, meaty gun to shoot. I'm going to enjoy shooting one. My final point is actually it's not that heavy. For a gun that feels quite large in the hand and everything, I think it's £7.11. It's barely £8. That extra wood probably going to bring us up a couple of ounces potentially, which is fine, but it's going to be below £8 for a serious grade sporter, and below £3 for a grade 4 gun with pretty engraving and a tiny, tiny, very shallow action. I find it's almost strange that you've got the shallow action and the shallow 4, and they then opted for this big heavy pistol grip. You know, Oz isn't the reason why, and I'm sure it will work. But until I get the production model in my hands, actually I can't wait to get the production model in my hands. There's everything about this gun in engineering I think is just quite nice. Really well built and very fairly priced. Land in the shops, I think August, July, August. I'm obviously going to have some come down to TGS, so we'll have a look when they come here. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Take care, goodbye, and we'll see you next time.